Hi, I'm muted. I didn't forget this time. I'm gonna go security goal. Proud as I am that y'all did it. I'm gonna go ahead and remove it because we are past that. We don't have to think about it anymore. We can go ahead and embrace the fact that now it is time to what am I doing again? Read every weapon thing. That's right. That's what we're doing. Ha 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 ha. Anyways, every weapon story, ending C, all good stuff. This should show up in a second, I hope. Maybe? There we go. Perfect. Excellent. Good. Alright. Well, I booted up Cheat Engine for one last time, because I'm going to do something. Why does this seem a little crunchy? I don't know. Gonna pop open the inventory, cultivation. I think Moonflower Seed, value 10. Oh, wonder what I'm doing there. Oh wow, that's interesting. I didn't actually think I could do that. Into the drink.
I must say, I'm rather surprised you didn't bother to learn how to swim these past 5 years.
I can swim. My weapon's just heavy.
Whatever you say, lad.
I mean, to be fair, in particular, this weapon is rather heavy. Anyways, let's load in and... Oh wow, look at that. No items are required for this quest. I wonder how that happened. Wow. If I just give myself a white moonflower. I mean, grow it myself. Spanning multiple days of cultivation. Yeah, that's what I mean. Why am I bothering to pick up stuff? I literally need nothing in my life. My struggle is complete. I have learned to love Big Pyrite. So I should really probably stop picking up stuff, but I can't help it. I've conditioned myself just to grab a bunch of garbage every single time. Because who knows, I might just need it. No, I don't think that counts. I think you have to literally cultivate it. Oh, well. I think that's the only other thing I wanted to, like, give myself.
I've got your seeds. I look forward to seeing your desert flowers.
Wow, we did it. Wow, use it to restore all your HP. Cool. I didn't actually realize that lunar tiers. No, that makes sense because I thought I remember in the original translation of this game, it's like the lunar tier will what? 98%. 98%? What the hell did I forget? What? Bon Appetit 2? Where the hell do I get Bon Appetit 2? Do I only get that after getting the knife? Once you have 2 key fragments. Maybe that's... I guess that must be the one I'm missing because I didn't see it in my quest list. Alright. I'm gonna boot up Cheat Engine. Gardening skills is what I'm... Aha. Silly me. White Moonflower Seed. Give me 1, please. Actually, you know what? Give me 5.
Oh, there.
Like that, and close it out. Oh yeah, he's got a quest again. Alright.
Hey, remember that book you found for me? Well, there's another recipe that piqued my interest. Would you mind helping me out again?
What are you making now?
Broiled catfish served over rice. I just need 10 giant catfish and 10 bags of rice. Think you can help me out?
Why do they need to be giant? What about this recipe requires them to be giant?
I need 10...
Vice, are there any recipes written inside you?
How dare you compare me to a common cookbook? There is no room within my pages for such trivial matters.
Sorry, we're not quite ready for business yet. Come back when we're open, okay?
What? Huh, weird.
There.
A bunch of townspeople disappeared along with that wrecked boat. Alright, where does one get catfish? Pond on Eastern Road using carp as bait. I don't think I have many carp on me. in fact have 0. I'm just going to buy the carp. I cannot buy the carp. Why can't I buy the carp? Unless I can buy carp from the fisher? I don't know. Yes.
Come.
Okay, back to the eastern pond. What's the fastest way? I guess take the boat. Probably a little bit faster take the boat. My village and just head out to the east.
Oh.
Kind of wish I'd heard Devila do the like, oh, that guy had wanted a thing, but then again, like having to do that for every single quest would have been obnoxious. I don't think I can get off this way. Hi, doggy. Right, so it's first tug from the pond on the eastern road. That should be all of them then. And if it's not, I do not know what to say. You fuck off, goat. Oh my goodness, that's a big fish. I wonder how many fish I have like left to go at this point. Can't be that many more fish in the game. Alright. At least they come fast. Fish I've not caught yet. Not royal fish. I think the only one I catch a sandfish. I did not. I think I caught royal fish because I remember you need royal fish for the. Caught those. I think it's just the Duncalustus at the pier. We caught a blowfish before. Duncalustus and fish then. I will have caught every fish in the game, I believe. Alright, that does it. You can fucking die. Ruining, you're scaring away all the fish. 4 more to go. More to go. Yep. Oops, shit. Hi, buddy. You chill? Yeah, you chill. Just having a drink, I guess. I don't know. That should be all the catfish that we needed. Sardines do I have left? I should check. 43. Oh yeah, that's plenty. I don't even need sardines for this next fish, anyways, it's a lure. Sandfish. Nice. Okay, that was easy. Do sea prawn.
I have your ingredients.
Right then, here's your payment. And now let me whip this up. La-da-dum. All right, dig in. How is it?
It's delicious. I just wish I could share it with Yona.
Woo! We've got another item for the menu.
I'll definitely try to stop by again. Good luck.
Great, now that you've made that dish, maybe you could go see Gideon, your son. Hi, did we forget that? Did we forget that this guy is actually Gideon's father? And we lied and said, yeah, Gideon's doing great. He's doing great. Nothing wrong. Did you forget that? Because I haven't. He's not alright. He's absolutely not alright. Holy shit, dude. Alright, I think I'm supposed to use sardines. Or sardines or lure. I could try the, but that might just give me weird. Really, I don't think there's any good answer. But I'll try the lure first, maybe, because I know that there is quite a lot of stuff that requires the use of, Oh, whoops, I'm dumb. There's a lot of things you can catch with sardines here, so I'm gonna try my luck with the lure first. Of course, I might just catch infinite bream instead. Alright, is this gonna be another bream? Yeah. Okay, so Bream are 3 bites. Let's try this again. If I don't get one in the next 2... If I don't get, like, anything different than Bream in the next 2 bites, I'm gonna swap over to Sardines, I guess. Nope. No. Well... I'd say I would swap if I didn't get anything different, so you got me there. Try the Dunkel stand. Oh, whoops. Whoops, no, I don't care about earthworms, lugworms, whatever I'm just using here. Oh, baby. That's a shark. Okay, this is not a shark. Oh, shit, it's big, it's big. Oh, this is it. This is absolutely it. This is my moment. Fuck, 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 fuck. Okay, calm down, calm down. Calm down, you got this, you got this. Ah! Shit, I'm panicking. Oh my god, where are you going? Where are you going, buddy? Where are you going? There, almost there. Cool, keep it cool. Cool, cool, keep it cool, but adjust. Keep it cool, but adjust. Woo! There we go. Round by the pond. That's every fish in the game.
A bunch of townspeople disappeared along.
I think that was the only other achievement I wanted to get on this run. I should also double check. Are we at 100% completion? Woohoo! We sure as hell are.
Oh, there.
Perhaps with that, it's time to finally go and confront the Shadow Lord for the 3rd time, but not the last time. Where am I going? So I think my plan today is we're right at the point where we can get ending C. And then I'm going to do one more playthrough for ending D, just to kind of wrap everything up. We'll go through everything, kind of take it easy. No more rushing through, trying to desperately figure out where all of, like, you get all the materials you can get. Take it easy. Maybe we'll enjoy the Louise boss fight a little bit more. Or maybe we won't, because I doubt it scales. So, like, I'm going to hit her once, and she'll be like, owie, ow, ow, I give up. Who knows? But yeah, we'll spend one last time with everybody.
Oh there.
It'll be great. Yeah. Yeah. You won't even drop me a bracelet as a joke. I see how it is. I am... On one hand, I do feel kind of bad that I had to give up on the very last, like, weapons. On the other hand, the last weapons that I left for myself are pain. Just pure pain. Oh, okay, I don't... If I get hit on the ladder by orbs, I don't fall off. Good to know. Fuck off. I don't even know where you are. I am going to kill every single sage I come across because I am waiting for one of them to just drop a bracelet. Because holy moly, what a cruel joke these enemies are. Pretty choker. That is, again, not even the item I think I needed. Fuck these sages. Fuck them! Let's do it. Great.
And now the path is open. To whom does the true voice speak? To whom does the true form show itself? You must answer.
It can talk!
I ask, why did humans disappear from the world?
The hell is this?
I believe this is some manner of password.
Password?
Yes. The correct answer should grant us access to the castle. I feel confident I've heard this somewhere before. To whom does the true voice speak? To whom does the true form show itself? I ask, why did humans disappear from the world? You must answer. I answer, because of a black disease. I ask, how can humans extend their lives? I answer, by separating body from soul. I ask, what is the destination of souls? I answer, they are placed in their corresponding shells. Very well. You are acknowledged as master. You may enter. Well then, it seems the way is open. It's the twins from your village.
Popla? Devila? What are you doing here?
Hey, any chance you'll just go back to the village? This is a very dangerous place. Even if you can find Yona here, you probably can't get her out.
How did you get here?
Shh. We're asking the questions right now.
They're right. Let's go back to the village.
Do you truly wish to go back?
No. Yona's so close. What are you two doing here?
I'm not going to answer that. You can figure it out yourself.
We're here to rescue Yona.
No dice, huh? Well, I guess we don't have a choice then. No, I suppose not. How sad. We didn't want to fight you. We really didn't want to.
Devila! What's happening?
Sorry, but this fate was predetermined. Still, we spoke to truth. We really wanted to avoid this if possible. We were hoping to put it off for 100 years or so. Until the next generation came along.
What are you talking about?
Are they shades?
I don't think so.
It's a lie! I don't believe it!
Kill him, you glorious bastards! Kill them all!
We never thought we'd grow to be this powerful.
This is madness. Why do you block our path?
You have no cause to speak so with us, Grimoire Weiss. You are a traitor.
What now? They copied my powers.
Shit on a shingle. They can use the sealed verses.
Of course we can. The power came from us in the first place. You were simply loaned a small portion of it.
Weiss! Are you alright?
Devila! Popala! Why are you guys doing this? Why are you siding with the Shades? Why?
The answer to every riddle lies within the heart of the Shadow Lord.
The Shadow Lord? So you've been on his side this whole time?
You must search for that answer yourself. You've got to face your own truth now. Please, enter the Shadow Lord's castle.
Devila and Popola are fighting us.
Yes, they do seem to be putting us through a great deal of...
You okay, Vice?
How odd. For long years, my mind and tongue have been my greatest assets. But now the latter seems to be... Hell,
Vice?
do not look at me like that. I am Grimoire Weiss. I am perfect with...
I think I hear a waltz.
It certainly is a grand affair.
Bunch of dancing bastards.
They're all shades!
I think we're locked in!
It's not like I was planning to leave.
Yeah, it's a bit late for that.
Oh, Broken Wristwatch. I remember those. I remember those quite well.
Damn it! They won't stop coming!
I'll open the next door. Cover me!
Oh, how I do love a good...
Vice!
Oh, right. Protect the hussy, yes? Good plan. Let's go.
Protect Kaine for us! Stupid door. Come on. Come on!
Kaine! Hurry!
It's not open yet? Do I look like a goddamn locksmith to you?
No, you idiot! What are you doing?
Lock doesn't want to open? Fine. I'll just break it down.
Stop, you impatient fool!
Oh yeah, Kaine, go for it.
Goddamn no good bullshit bastard! Open the fuck up already! Ugh! Got it.
Kaine, look out!
These things are freaking me out. Kaine, what's wrong?
We need to help Kaine!
There you go, Kaine.
You okay?
Yeah, but we got problems. We don't need forgiveness, asshole.
Kaine?
Wait a second. Wait a second. Your heart is different. It ain't hatred, and it ain't sadness. What's going on here, Sunshine?
How should I know?
Kaine, are you all right?
I'm fine. Let's just kill some shit and move on, alright?
Interesting. Oh, how very interesting.
Damn shit.
Oh dear.
Can we even hurt this thing?
Fuck! Oh no!
We can't stop now. Damn it.
Stay focused, Kaine. Don't fall victim to such distractions.
Come on! We have to keep going!
Let's go!
I would love to go.
This way! Move!
There we go.
Up here!
How can we deal with this thing?
Please, hurry!
Running as quick as I can.
Damn it, I can't get it open.
Attack incoming!
The entrance is locked too.
It seems we are in a bit of a predicament.
Oh, you pissed her off now! Maybe you shouldn't have killed her friends. Look at her, so full of scorn and hate. She's just like you, Sunshine.
Like you're any different. Hate is just another crush for you.
Hey now.
You're in pain, you're lonely, no one likes you. So you try to hide it under violence and hate.
I'm not like that at all.
It's okay.
It is.
Look, I'm the same way. But just realizing that isn't going to help. It's too late for us now. It's too late for everything. We're too far gone, you and me. That's why we...
Let's see if I can get 100 combo while we wait for no. Damn it!
Kasa, 程度と、ち、いるとて。手槌、汗より。きった、人だ。あら、ペルアと、試練、地、無責音。いら、こ、く。なあ、ついて。What are you doing here? さるりとした。海山特機能だろう。
You are correct.
なあ、アラトテ三世体。ふわり、ふわりコテトラス。感化し金で。はい。あら、ペルアト。そんな来て、切りごいたり。あ、いや、とさちちさったと。トネルタ、海山地。
No! No! My 74 hits! I wonder if it's just gonna be like, eventually just like grab me. Or if they're just gonna let me be here forever. In which case, I'm absolutely gonna try and get 100 combo hit. Got it. All right. Have fun, guys.
Hey! Stop! Let me go! Stop it! Damn it! King, no! ギ、後で。アリクラーサ。アコ。No! Open the door! You can't fight that thing on your own! You cook! Oh, Tauki! Alta! Vieto! 来るとこっちいる勝てケイタルイトエチケロアルテリアだせギウジ各石技師真鍮カレルタ海山テラスあんだあらたて
울라르 페루아 토치!
Open the damn door!
Knock it off already. Let's go.
Kaine.
He's fighting for you. And for Fira. Don't let him die for nothing.
My friend.
Devila. Popola.
Oh, look. You made it. We've been waiting for so long.
Why are you doing this?
It began 1,300 years ago. Humanity, finding itself on the brink of extinction, undertook a last-ditch rescue plan called Project Gestalt.
Gestalt?
Do you still not remember, Grimoire Weiss? Then let's give you a refresher.
Weiss! My mind. I remember. Devila. Popola. You are not human. In fact. Oh no.
Yeah, sometimes the truth can be a real bitch. You want to finish that thought for him, sister? All of us. Every person standing in this room are mere shells created by the true humans.
What are you saying?
You still don't get it? You aren't human.
So then humans, I mean, the true humans, are extinct?
No. They still live on. You know them as shades. Each shade is a twisted remnant of what was once a human being.
Crazy, huh? Now let's skip the part where you stand there with your mouths agape and just get down to business.
Wait.
Sorry, but we're gonna be needing that shell of yours. The rightful owner has been waiting for a very long time. Please don't be angry with us. We are only doing our duty. Our endless existences have a single purpose: to control the lives of others in accordance with the will of the true humans. You have your own motives, your own desires. And we have ours. I fear it really is just that simple.
Don't speak such foolishness.
Sorry.
Did I get any new documents?
You and us, we're the same. Tools in the hands of a master.
No. I'm nothing like you.
Goodbye, Devila.
Devila? Devila? Popola, are you crying? No! Don't die! You know, Popola, I understand now why we're twins. It's because we were born without souls. Devila, I can't stop the bleeding. Oh God, I can't stop it. This world is too lonely for one without a soul. There's too much emptiness. Our souls are missing. And yet somehow our tears still work. It's kind of weird. Sorry, sis. I love you. Devila! Devila! Don't you go! No, I can't be alone! Devila!
Popola. Let's stop this now.
Stop? Stop? Now you want to stop? You think you have the luxury to stop? You cut down my sister like a goddamn animal and now you want to stop? Popola, wait! It doesn't have to— No one stops! It's way too late to stop! No one stops!
Please, don't do this, Popola! You and Devila were like parents to me!
Those two have watched the world wither for time immemorial. Cruelness of such a fate is difficult to imagine.
I don't want to do this! I don't want to fight her!
Stop bitching and start fighting! It's the only way!
No stopping. No stopping ever!
The bridge!
Blast! We're trapped.
I've got an idea.
I fear we're done for.
It'll be all right. You know, when I was young, I hated my eyes. And now that I'm older, I hate what my body has become. But there's something else there now. Something like pride, you know? I mean, without all this, I couldn't have become your friend. Goodbye, my friends. Thank you for everything.
Emil!
For so long, all I could do was destroy. But now, I have a chance to save something.
No!
Now get going, okay?
Emil!
Don't worry about me. I'm gonna be fine.
Emil! Emil!
Emil!
family's so unstable, and Vice can't stop arguing with people. I hope they can hold it together once I'm gone. Well, I guess they'll just have to learn. I want to see you again. I want to see all of you again. Just one more time. I'm scared. I don't want to die.
Darkness, black without end, goes on and on. Closed, open. The dark is joined by a mysterious sensation, one created by the mingling of bliss and unease of a terrible unnever. Thinking to pinch his cheek, face, but his hand does not move. In fact, his hand is altogether. He looks at his feet and sees they have disappeared, along with the rest of his legs up to the thigh. What body remains begins to leave him, then crumbles into fragments smaller than dust. Body is going. Soon it will be no more. This. Suddenly, he recalls his past. Remembers the time he lived with his sister, and the very act of recollection is like a shooting star. Despite lasting only for a moment, it brings color to the darkness. Soon, more memories come, gathering atop each other, one after the next, until they meld into a warm, glorious light. Wake up! Wake up! A set of covers are torn from the boy, leaving his eyelids open to the merciless sun. Hey there, lazy bones, says the voice again. The boy's vision, blurry at first, gradually grows more clear. For him, her face aglow with a radiant smile, is his older twin sister, Halua. Morning, Halua. Don't look so cheery, you butt. The teacher's gonna be here any minute. Halua grabs her brother and pulls him beneath the bed with her, where they wait with a host of dust bunnies for their instructor's arrival. The moment Emil starts asking a question, Halua shushes him by placing a finger over his mouth. Don't start. We agreed to this yesterday, remember? We're going to jump out and give teacher the scare of her life. After a few ticks of the clock, the door opens and a slight woman enters the room. Good morning, Halua. Good morning, Emil. Are you ready for... Emil glances at his sister and sees her trying to stifle a laugh, which has the unfortunate effect of making a laugh rise in him. Then the dust bunnies decide to get in on the act, swirling up into their noses and causing the tricksters to sneeze. Suddenly, the face of their teacher appears in the space between the bed and the floor. There you are, you scamps. This is your fault, says Halua. You ruined it by sneezing. Me? Cries a clearly wounded Emil. You sneeze just as loud. That's enough, both of you, says the teacher as she attempts to hide her amusement. Crawl out from under there and let me take your temperatures already. The pair happily shimmies out from their hiding place and stands before their teacher. She's a fair woman with a kind voice, one Emil would be happy to listen to for the rest of his life. In fact, he often thought that her waking him in the morning was his favorite part of the day. The teacher finds her seat, hunkers down, and gently pats her leg, to which a happy Emil leaps into her lap. He then slides a chilly thermometer under his armpit, causing a shudder to race through his body. I'm sorry. Just be a brave boy for a little longer, alright? Emil used to hate having his temperature taken daily. thermometer was just so darn cold. But he's become used to it after being at the facility for the past 2 years. His mother and father had perished in an accident many years before. He'd been told the facility they sent him to was simply a home for orphans such as himself, but he'd always had his doubts. After all, most orphanages weren't staffed by doctors in white coats who held lessons involving the repeated asking of strange questions. Nor did they attach wires to the bodies of their charges and force them to enter enormous boxes. The process is endless. The tests unceasing. And yet, Emil feels his teacher somehow floats above it all. She would talk to him about everyday problems, read him books, and even share a meal when time permitted. She is the closest thing he has to a mother. With both of their temperatures taken, Emil and Halua wait for breakfast. But something is different today. Their teacher is strange, somehow. Off. Emil, she says quietly, you remember what day this is? Emil looks over to his sister and sees him staring at him with an enormous grin. Nuh-uh, she says. You gotta figure it out yourself. But despite his best efforts, Emil comes up empty. I'm sorry, ma'am, he says at last. I just don't know. With a smile, the teacher reaches into the pocket of her white coat and withdraws a small package. It is a bag, neatly closed with string and tied at the top with a bright red ribbon. Happy birthday, Emil, she says. In fact, happy birthday to both of you. Oh, thank you, cries Emil. Can I open it? Of course, replies his teacher. I'm afraid it's nothing so special, but I do hope you enjoy it regardless. Emil carefully unties the ribbon and opens the bag to reveal a small pile of cookies. They are the same snacks they've always received at the facility, but the fact that they come from his teacher makes them somehow special. As a gasp escapes his mouth, his sister can't help giggling beside him, her eyes fixated on the bright red ribbon all the while. Happy birthday, Halua, says Emil as he reaches into the bag, withdraws a cookie, and offers it to his sister. Needing no further encouragement, the girl crams the cookie into her mouth and swallows it in 2 bites. Happy birthday to you too, Emil. Then, as if remembering something, she leaps up and runs to the small chest drawers between the two of them share. After forcing open a stubborn drawer, she pulls out a single sheet of paper hidden under a white coat and runs it back to her brother. Here's your present, she says, thrusting the paper at him with a slightly embarrassed look. When he glances down, he sees the words, Happy birthday, Emil, scrawled in a shaky child's hand, along with a picture of a generously colored person who had clearly been created from every crayon in the box. That was me. Unable to stop himself, Emil wraps his sister in a massive hug. Thank you, he whispers as she returns the embrace just as tightly. I'll make sure to draw you on our next birthday, okay? My sister was there. My teacher was there. My birthday. I thought I could never be happier. I'm glad Halua's drawing is the last thing I'll remember. I sense a deep and perfect darkness descending over my eyes, and realize my time has come. Terribly cold. As I try desperately to remember what it felt like to be embraced, I wonder if this horrible face is all that's left of me. Halua. Sorry. Promise. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Join you now. Hold on.
Wake up. Wake up. Please, wake up. Come on, Emil. Wake up already.
Halua, is that...
You haven't changed a bit, have you, lazy bones?
Halua, have you come for me? Am I dead?
No, Emil. You're not dead. I'm just here to keep my promise.
In that moment, the world of blackness surrounding me explodes with color. Red, yellow, blue, so many others. Colors I have no names for. Colors I've never seen. Like someone who's using every crayon in the box.
I told you I'd always be watching over you, didn't I?
Halua, I don't...
Don't worry about it, you butt. Looking after little brothers is just what big sisters do.
Voice, it's fading.
Sorry, Emil. Looks like I'm out of magic.
Halua, wait! Let me come with you!
But you are with me. always watch over you. So we'll always be together.
Aloha, no! Don't go!
Don't cry, Emil. I want you to be happy.
Aloha.
Promise me that you'll live for both of us.
The darkness enveloping me flows away, replaced by a brilliant blue sky. I don't know where I am or what I'm supposed to do. But it's okay that I'm here. I know that much now. He's given me the courage to accept it. No more crying. I'll live with a smile on my face. Because that's the promise I made her.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Huh, I wonder why that's marked with an area transition. Oh, I can't actually leave until I kill them all.
Yona! It ends here!
Strike hard. Hold nothing back.
How can a mere tool hope to stand against the Shadow Lord?
Don't speak in such a manner, fool. I am nothing like you.
Bye.
Be careful!
I know!
Hey, Sunshine. I ain't certain about this, but I think your heart is... The hate is gone. The sadness is gone. It's just a bunch of white light now. What the hell's going on here?
You can't tell, Tiger. You're not the only voice in my life anymore. I've experienced fear, hate, and no sympathy. I'm a curse, a freak. I know that. But guess what? He still accepts me. He still forgives me.
Oh, come on. You're doing this for him?
I'm tired of this world, and everybody in it. But I'll become his sword one last time. Vice, you alright?
Naturally, I am as fit as a fit.
Wait. brother.
Yoda. Huh?
Please, just stop. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't need someone else's body. I don't want it. There's another girl inside this body. I can hear her. She won't stop crying. She says she wants to see her brother.
Yona's been possessed?
This girl loves her brother too, just as much as I do. It's not right, you know? It's not right that she can't see him. It's you, isn't it?
Yes, it's me. Let's go home.
I'm really sorry. I don't know what to. I'm so very sorry. No matter what. Just know that I love you.
Hurry. The shade that possessed her is gone.
Run! Watch over Yona for me. You want me to understand your sadness? You think I'm gonna sympathize with you? I swore to protect my sister and my friends. If someone puts them in danger, they must stand aside or be cut down. Now come on! Let's finish this! Weiss, what's wrong?
You're freaking me out here, Vice.
What are you doing? Come so. Just do it. Strike the killing blow. No bother. One moment, please.
You okay?
Fine, just fine. All right, no, I'm not.
Weiss,
You It seems some headstrong idiot has decided to push me beyond my limits. I should have taken that job as a cookbook when I had the chance.
Vice, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Only joking. I hate cookbooks.
But
Let's go. Out of the way. I have one final task to fulfill.
where are you going?
Why, to stop him, of course. But after that, it's up to you. Only you can see this battle to its conclusion. I wish you luck, my friend.
You can't. I swore I'd always fight by your side.
You are an exceedingly stubborn lad. You know that, yes? Perhaps that's why I've so enjoyed our time together. But I fear this is where our journey ends.
Vice!
Oh, and remember what I told you about using my full name? Well, forget it. I've grown rather fond of Vice.
Vice. I knew you'd come around.
Don't let it go to your head now.
I have something to defend. I have a reason to live. Shadow.
Well, ain't that precious?
Hi, bro. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
You know, Sunshine, that black scrawl has almost completely taken you over.
Yeah. I know.
But goddamn, we had fun, huh? Killing and killing and more killing. What a rush.
Yeah.
Wait. No. No. It wasn't fun at all. I turned you into a killing machine. I spread evil and chaos around the world. But it all feels so empty now. Why? I don't understand.
Sorry. Looks like you stayed inside me for a little too long. Sunshine.
Stop! Don't be nice to me! Don't make me feel like this!
I'm doing okay. I'm just kind of quiet there.
I'm gonna swallow you up, Sunshine. Gonna swallow you whole.
Kaine? What is it?
Listen to me. The shade inside me is growing, and I can't stop it. Soon. Real soon. I'm gonna go berserk.
I can't hold it back anymore.
Kaine, you have to fight. You have to...
Just shut up and listen to me. Emil is gone, all right? So there's no way anyone can stop me. Please. Before it comes to that, I want you to kill me. Consider it enough of a request.
Well, hell, sunshine! It's not like I can stop it! When Gestalts go out of control, they lose their minds! Both of our memories will be completely overwritten!
Kaine!
You too, bro. Thanks for checking in.
Damn it! I have to do something. I won't! We made it this far because you were with us, Kaine.
Oh dear.
Who I am today? Because of you.
That's magic. That's not spirit. They're capsule.
I'm not going to give up on you. I'm not going to abandon someone I love. I'm going to save you. I swear it!
Well, there might be one way to save her.
Who said that?
It don't matter, so don't ask. Just shut up and listen.
Wait, are you?
I said, listen! There's a way to save Kaine's life, all right? But you're gonna have to make a difficult decision.
I'll do whatever it takes.
When the time comes, I'm going to pin Kaine down. And as soon as I do, you need to stab her in the heart.
No, I can't.
Fine. Don't believe me. Stand around with your thumb up your ass and watch her die a terrible death.
Damn it.
Very nice. Now, if you want to save your precious Kaine, there are two ways to do it. One is to plunge your sword into her chest. That's what she wants after all. Freedom from burdens, freedom from life.
What's the other way?
The other way is to make her a normal human being again. But to make that happen, you gotta trade your own existence for hers. Well, there you go. Good luck with that.
You're that shade. The one who lives inside Kaine. Why are you trying to help her?
Probably for the same reason you are. Enough talk. Make your choice.
Sorry, Kaine, you're gonna die this run.
Kaine. Let's go home.
Can you hear me? I spent years inside Kaine's body, tormenting her from within. I felt her pain, her emotions, as if they were my own. And there was so much pain. So when I say she's free now, I want you to believe me. Thanks to you, Kaine has been forgiven and saved.
Where the fuck is
wait,
Yona during all this?
She had a final message for you.
Thank you.
We'll always be together.
Okay. So what we're gonna do here at the end is start D, get one or two things out of the way, and then call it there. Just so I don't have to do the entirety of ending D in one day. You know. No, seriously, where did Yona go? Just hanging out by the window. She's gone. Oh, I didn't realize Kashiya yeah, are advised for this game. That's cool. What about it's still probably the best playing of the Nier games, obviously, because obviously the first one, Cavio, is kind of rough. And there's this one, which because it's a remake, they couldn't go like too nuts with what they wanted to do. And then Automata, of course, it's like, well, they're all fucking androids. Another 1,000 years in the future, whatever. Go nuts. Okay. I will be right back. Okay, sorry for the delay there. Studio. Oh, no. Okay. Back at it. Back to really loud video. Let's go ahead and start on Route D. And then once we start Route D, after a little while, we'll go ahead and call it and finish it off tomorrow. I haven't still read those weapon stories. Fuck.
Whenever I interacted with Kaine, I was reminded about something from my past. Maybe my mind has been...
Good, it's spear time.
What anger this creature must have. How did it even survive these past 5 years?
I'm not gonna let this happen again. It dies today.
My sword feels lighter. It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike it down.
We did it.
alive.
Shit. That's a long time. Any luck with Yona?
We are still no closer to...
By the way,
Is that
it's...
No, it's...
Kaine waking from her long petrified sleep. Emil's unflagging kindness. Our reunion was a happy one, and we let it wash over us like rain. That is, until Devila and Popola had to go and ruin it all.
Are you people?
This...
We
No, you...
people as right,
But...
well, so,
I guess I had completely lied when I said we're taking this easy.
What is the...
I never did.
We
I didn't get much sleep that night. For the first time in my life, I hated Devila. For the first time in my life, I doubted Popola. But those feelings are pointless in the end. They said and did what they did for the sake of the village. To protect it from the horror of the Shades. Really, how can I blame Devila and Popola? In the end, I'm just as bad.
Just as bad.
Because I never once stopped to think about Kaine and Emil's situation myself.
I got a fire going, Kaine.
Wait.
Good.
I'm so...
Yeah. Wait. Hey,
I I get.
I'm sorry.
Well, heck,
I'm not.
come on.
Fuck, this all happened when my but one person, my grandmother, accepted me just as I was.
This outfit's pretty good for Kaine too.
No matter how.
She. Oh, since I know that. Oh,
Meanwhile, here's Samurai Emil. Look at him. Look at Samurai Emil. He's so cute. Did my hair change color despite the fact that I'm wearing a different outfit, or is it just the weird? That.
Sleep and
Time to plant these legitimately obtained white moonflower seeds. Here we go.
Oh, hi. I pretty much.
Oh, sorry.
You let it.
Huh?
more and more of us.
Oh,
Look, yeah, you're.
it. Oh, you. That's.
But
So, yeah, it. The fit that.
thank. All right.
And
How excellent to know the canal is finished. Hopefully this puts our days of running all over behind us.
The faster we can move, the faster we can save Yona. Let's use it as often as we need.
Hey,
That red...
Hey,
sure, apparently
oh,
that it.
To the Lost Shrine.
lost shrine.
As well. Let
So thinking about it, that scene that we witnessed for ending C, where like Nier goes and says like, "I love Kaine." That is, as far as I know, like the exact same in Gestalt version, which is honestly kind of weird to me. I don't know why, but when I first played this game, like I never got the feeling that Kaine and Dad Nier were like a thing, and it definitely makes more sense when you play as brother Nier, who feels closer in age to Kaine than Dad Nier. But I don't know.
We finally get to bathe in blood.
Maybe I'm just being ageist.
Don't talk to me.
I want to kill so bad I can barely stand it.
Oh, excuse me.
This is all too easy.
Sure is when we're not actually fighting anything. Imagine if more block pushers puzzle games would just let you push the blocks out of the way or jump over the blocks. Just, oh no, I can't fit all these boulders out of the way to go to the Elite Four. Just jump over them, idiot. It's that simple.
What's with these guys?
Certainly not your garden variety shades.
Their bodies aren't fully functional.
Say, I've heard of this. A cursed area where incomplete shades gather.
See ya. Oh no, we are trapped. It is pretty hilarious just how having these levels just like being what level are we at this point? Thanks, my friends. Now I understand that we can truly live together. I want you to know that I all appreciate you all. Oh no, you're going to die. What a shame.
Kaine, Emil, look, from now on, I'm going to sleep outside with you.
Why?
I can't accept that you aren't allowed in the village. It's stupid.
So you're staging a protest? Fun!
Don't waste your time.
But it just feels wrong.
Well, that's really nice of you, but you still don't have to stay out here with us.
Emil.
You got a super important mission. You can't sleep out in the rain. What if you catch a cold? Besides, I like camping with Kaine. Sometimes we sit around the fire and tell stories, or roast...
Neil, that's enough. What a fucking image to maintain.
We seem to be surrounded by a mob of helpless...
I didn't even get to finish that sentence because we killed them that fast.
What's going on? There's dozens of them!
These are creatures of the darkness. Lure them to the light. Pathetic to the end, I see.
Aim for that statue. It's the leader.
Oh, you're funny. I'm gonna start crying.
Not having hyper armor on your heavies is very rough.
Creatures, you cannot hope to best me.
Oh no, Kaine's fucking dead.
This is one stubborn son of a bitch.
Damn it, damn it, damn it!
Hey there, Sunshine. You ain't feeling bad for this week, are ya? Ain't no turning back now. You got a lust for blood. Embrace the slaughter. All we know is the thrill of battle. Ain't that right, Kaine?
Kaine!
We did it! Oh no, now Kaine is crazy.
It's Kaine's shade!
With no other choice, we must strike it down.
Kaine!
I can't.
We're, if you, I don't, I may, I'm, you're my...
And
And it's our...
It's a cipher of some kind.
Can you...
This, give it there. Look, and, but,
Not if we.
it's a,
Yeah.
but,
Ju-
oh.
I'll tr-
Hope perhaps...
I wonder if I already have a memory alloy. I imagine I do. I'm not just saying that because like I'm about to open up Cheat Engine or something. I legitimately feel like I have memory alloy to spare. Oh, I absolutely do. We've engaged in so much robot murder. Oh boy.
Looks like he left the village. Yeah. You think he'll be able to find all the fragments? If he doesn't, these past 5 years will have all been for nothing. Now that we know the location of the original Gestalt, the Shadow Lord, we have to stop his rampage. I can't believe the Shadow Lord ran off and holed up like that. I worry the Shades who guard the key fragments will pose too much of a threat. Maybe so, but we're pretty much out of options at this point. You having second thoughts, sis? No. The plan is all that matters. We must see the plan to completion. He is simply a tool to that end.
EP.
The junk heap. Perhaps we should speak to the brothers. They might know something about this.
Oh, you.
Oh,
What? It's a. What is. You not. No. Oh, just.
yeah.
I. Don't. Yeah, can you... if you... I'm only also... You... I'm only... You... By... What can I help you? Come...
They are going to make me enter the memory or the junk heap first. Oh,
It's a shame about the older lad. He was but a child.
we did it.
This knows that would...
He's appeared.
Oh.
You.
Get him, Boar. Fuck him up.
The home of that blasted dream.
Yeah.
Truly a nightmare, I hope. Oh, what? Did you... And...
Wait, I hear you. Hang... Does that...
Skipping through this text feels very bad. I've seen it. Point. Brown-eyed girl. Brown 23. Brown 23. Brown.
What?
How do I just...
With the...
Let's...
Wonder if it will let us take the other exit right to where the boss fight starts, or if I have to jump through the hole. I probably have to jump through the hole, which means one final trip through Robot Hell. Oh, Robot Hell. I think what we'll do is do robot hell and everything else tomorrow. Well, now that we're skipping through stuff, it'll be pretty cool.
Hey, Sis. How goes the code breaking? Harder than I expected. It's going to take some more time. More importantly, how is the child who drifted ashore getting along? Right on schedule so far. I mean, we knew she was powerful enough to destroy an entire ship. But now she's grown even stronger. There is one thing, though. She's started to obsess over becoming human. If that's a problem, we need to nip it in the bud. If the Shadow Lord resists the plan, we'll need her power to defeat him. I know, Popola, I know. Jeez, relax, will ya? It's a fool's dream. And we both know it. She doesn't have a receptacle, so she can't become human, no matter how badly she wants to.
I wonder how she doesn't have a receptacle. Because I would think every Gestalt has one, unless she's like artificially created or something. I'm not really sure.
He's off.
Alright. We're gonna do Robot Hell tomorrow, but what I am gonna do is I'm going to read I'm gonna start with the one-headed swords. We're gonna do those. And we'll see how I feel about reading the rest. Better grab a preliminary drink of water. That's not how you pause the game. Alright. Here we go. Smash, 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 smash. Sweat rolls down the faces of hard-scrabble men as they chip away at ironstone, their cheerful singing echoing through the mine. We are workers, workers in the mine. Dirty from tip to toe, again today we search for iron with all our might. Smash, 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 smash. Foom, 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 foom. The sound of women stomping on bellows in the mill. The sound of iron being gathered from the scorched sands. We are workers, workers in the mill, workers who send wind. Today, we stomp the bellows again with all our might. Foom, 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 foom. Clang, 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 clang. The sound of swordsmiths wielding hammers at their forges. The ringing of such transformative blows is stunning indeed. We are swordsmiths, swordsmiths who bring blades to life. Lords of steel. Clang, 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 clang. Rip, 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 rip. The sound of flesh being rent on the battlefield. The sound of killing enemies, killing someone, killing humans. Someone help me. It hurts. It hurts so much. Help me, Mommy. Rip, 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 rip. I love him with all my heart, as he does me. When we cross paths outdoors, he sends signals with his eyes that only I can understand. He treasures my gifts so much, he keeps them locked away in a safe. Oh, I couldn't ask for a better lover. I can't believe this. My best friend deceived the love of my life and stole him from me. One moment he was there, and the next he was gone. All that remains are some of my gifts, which are scattered across his empty room. Everything else of value has been sold at the village marketplace. This will not stand. He hasn't abandoned me. He's just being tricked by that woman. I know he still has feelings for me. He must. I am far more beautiful than she is, and he knows it. Oh yes, he knows. But I must make him see the truth, and quickly. I have to get her away from him. I have to kill her. Kill! Hurry up and kill! Consumed by her madness, the woman slaughtered the young husband and wife, hacking them with such force that the blade of her sword warped. The woman then went into hiding, leaving behind only clumps of unrecognizable meat and a sword with a horribly bent blade. But no matter how many smiths attempted to repair the sword, it never again retained its shape. The girl had been betrothed to a local lord on the day of her birth. As she grew, her days were taking up studying proper bridal techniques, while her evenings were spent staring out her bedroom window and offering prayers to her betrothed to the night sky. Oh my lord, if only you would come to me but a single day sooner. Her home was occupied by several other girls her age. Each one shared the same betrothed, and spent her days studying bridal techniques and her evenings praying to the night sky. Oh my lord, if only you would come to me but a single day sooner. One day, a quarrel broke out as the girls argued that only the greatest among them should become their lord's betrothed. None would yield an inch, each asserting that they alone could possibly satisfy him. Seeing this, their caretaker said in a kind voice, "Worry not, girls. Each and every one of you shall surely become bride to our lord." Hearing this, every face lit up in expression of pure joy. On the day they were to be married, the girls were brought to a place of cobbled stone they could see from the windows of their home. A single dagger was then placed before them, and the girls were told they needed to end their life here and now if they wished to meet their betrothed. Upon hearing the news, the girls scrambled to seize the dagger from one another, plunging it into their chests the moment they held it. Years later, a temple named the Betrothed was built on the spot where the girls took their own lives. There is a legend of long ago that speaks of a nation threatened by a great inferno. This nation, however, was saved from eternal hellfire by a sword with the power to freeze anything. Around this sword stood thousands upon thousands of human ice sculptures. A man on a journey to seek out weapons eventually discovered this sword. He wrapped it in several layers of cloth and took it with him, placing it in the bag he carried upon his back. But before the man realized what was happening, the cloth, the sword, and his own body ended up frozen solid. A traveling shrine maiden eventually discovered the sword. She offered a prayer to her god and gripped the hilt, but cold instantly shot through her fingers and into her body, freezing her solid. In her final moments, the shrine maiden unleashed words of great blasphemy to the god who had failed her. An enslaved woman in a mine eventually discovered the sword. Desiring an easy death over the continuation of her daily suffering, she grasped the weapon firmly, and while the woman did not freeze, she was also unable to pierce her own flesh. Soon, moonlight shone upon the blade of the weapon, reflecting the sight of the woman being beaten and dragged away by her master. Yep, they're all exactly as fun as this. What's the details on it? Oh. That's right, this here's the weapon that'll be ending your life. Don't sweat it, there's nothing to worry about. It'll be a pain the likes of which you've never felt before. In fact, you won't even feel pain at first. It'll be more like water sliding across your skin. Honestly, for most folks, it ain't the pain that makes them scream. It's the sight of their own blood flowing out of them. Yeah, it won't end so easy. See this part of the blade here, right here? This part hurts like a real son of a bitch. It's my favorite, which is why I always save it for last. I like to use it after people's voices get too hoarse and you can't tell what they're saying, which is a real... Fucking hell, are you over loud? Mind piping down over there? You're gonna make my hand slip. I won't kill you right away, so don't worry about a thing there, champ. I'm gonna take my sweet time before you finally give up the ghost. Honestly, you'd be surprised at how much it takes to kill a person. I mean, think about it. People got 2 eyes, most of them anyway, and 2 ears. 10 fingers, 10 toes, 20 nails across the lot, and don't even get me started on joints, because folks got hundreds of the damn things. Yeah, we got plenty of ways to keep ourselves entertained. Huh? Why am I doing this? Now ain't that a question? Buddy, I'm just doing what you've been doing for a good long while now. Nabbing innocent citizens on fake charges, torturing them, and putting their severed heads on display. This ring any bells, buddy? It should, because it was all you. Guess maybe you forgot about that, huh? Well, that's okay. I'll spend all the time it takes to remember to shoot everything you did to my wife and daughter. An elderly scholar sits in the dim reference room of a moldy museum. Before him lies a single box which has long been sealed away. It is an article the museum's previous curator made abundantly clear should never be opened. It is said the box contains a fossil that drinks the blood of humans. What foolishness. One would think we as a people have outgrown such nonsense. Only someone who spends all their life surrounded by books could possibly believe such preposterous superstition. He opens the box, which spits forth a cloud of dust, and beholds a single stone of bizarre shape. Looking at the attached handle, one could easily conclude it was used in some manner of ceremony. However, it could also be viewed as a weapon. And what a fascinating shape. yes, this will require rigorous research indeed. How foolish everyone was to be afraid of something like this. The scholar chuckles softly to himself as he reaches up and gouges out his left eye with the fossil's tip. Whoops. The sisters were puppets of complex machinery. So fine was their construction that any who laid an eye upon them assumed they were human in every way. They were the embodiments of man's greatest technological achievements. They walked like humans, ate like humans, laughed like humans. The one thing they could not do, however, was shed tears, for they were not designed that way. Because the sisters were machines, they felt nothing. Oh, they might mourn as humans did, but they experienced no true sadness, for they did not know what sadness was. Even when their friends perished in tragic accidents and their creator died of disease, they felt nothing. To the sisters, all it meant was those people no longer existed. It was a warm spring's day when a lone cat wandered into their home. It was a scrawny, filthy thing riddled with disease. What a bother, the sisters thought as they looked down upon the wretched creature. But they fed it milk, wiped it clean, and kept it warm, and soon the cat was well again. From that day forth, it would linger wherever the sisters were, brushing against their legs when it wanted food. If it caught a mouse, it would bring it back to boast its prowess. If it wanted love, it would cry out to them in a mewing voice. What a bother, the sisters thought. It was a cold winter's day when the cat came into their house, let out a feeble squeak, and died. Time and time again did the younger sister shake the cat's body. Time and time again did the elder sister call out to it, but the cat neither moved nor responded. In that moment, the sisters felt as if they felt something break deep inside their chests. And from that day forth, they truly felt nothing at all. Long ago, in a faraway kingdom, there lived 3 brothers. The middle brother was a famous general who commanded a vast army. People everywhere were terrified of his troops, for they were the most violent indeed. This general loved to make war. He enjoyed nothing more than watching cities burn and corpses pile up, and he fought not to subjugate, but simply to destroy all that he could. His well-trained soldiers laid waste to towns, cities, and even nations for the sake of their general. And as they hewed and hacked and chopped, the general would chuckle to himself in the most vulgar of tones. The army marched on and on, nations by the sea, nations by the mountains, nations in the deserts, nations in the tundra, nations to the east, and nations to the west. The general cared not. He simply wished to watch it all burn. His orders were absolute, and for years beyond counting, the soldiers killed and 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 killed. After some time, the army arrived in a certain nation. They killed its soldiers, they killed its townspeople, they killed its princesses and princes and dukes and bakers and lawyers and accountants and beggars and thieves. Eventually, a shabby general came pleading for his life with tears in his eyes, but they killed him as well. However, the soldiers thought he seemed familiar and tried to recall how they might have known him. In that moment, however, the general's daughter appeared, and they became so engrossed in ending her life they never thought about the matter again. There once was a famous poet in a land to the far, far east. Now in his twilight years, his ability had withered such that he could no longer craft a single stanza or verse. The poor poet spent every moment racked with sorrow for what had been lost. But one day, a monk appeared by his side, gently placed a blade in his hand, and imparted the following words. Kill 1 by this blade for 1 poem, and 2 for 2 in kind, the likes of which will be more splendid than any this world has ever heard. Clinging to the monk's words, the man waited for the cover of darkness and cut down a man he encountered by the roadside. The following day, he wrote a most beautiful poem, instantly reclaiming the fame and prosperity he had lost. The poet went on to kill 2 in succession. He killed 1 and wrote a poem, and killed again and wrote another, rising to almost dazzling levels of wealth and renown. But soon, he became obsessed with knowing just how splendid a poem he might write if he were to kill someone precious to him. He killed his wife and wrote a poem. He killed his children and wrote a poem for each. He moved through his estate, killing everyone there, writing and writing and writing and writing and writing. Eventually, he killed so many passers-by that the poems could not keep up. He would kill and write, then kill and kill and kill and kill, until in the end he took his own life, no longer crafting poems at all. All that remained was a blade wet with blood. There once was a royal sword passed down in a prestigious kingdom that had prospered for generations. I'm gonna redo this one. There once was a royal sword passed down in a prestigious kingdom that had prospered for generations. It was said that the crystal embedded upon it contained a great magic, and should it ever absorb the blood of 10,000 people, it would glow bright red and grant its wielder immortality. However, this kingdom's final ruler, known to the world as the High King, valued the continued prosperity of the kingdom he had inherited from his ancestor over any prospect of eternal life. One day, the queen, the king's dearest love, lost her life in a tragic accident. She was with child, and the tragedy occurred shortly before the babe was to be born. Distraught with grief upon hearing the news, the aged king found himself unable to accept the prospect of his royal bloodline dying with him. In an attempt to continue the kingdom's legacy by attaining a body without death, the now mad High King used the sword to cut down any and all subordinates or citizens unlucky to cross his path. "If I am to be the final king," he was heard to cry, "then the kingdom survives so long as I live." He killed his subjects by the dozens, the hundreds, the thousands, and with each life he stole, the crystal's light grew more radiant. But when the crystal was nearly full, the king's ailing heart proved unable to bear the burden and burst, killing him on the spot. Alas, had he just slain the pregnant woman and unborn child that before his very eyes, he would have taken exactly 10,000 lives. There once was a woman who promised her hand to a man who was departing for the front. Devout by nature, she spent mornings, afternoons, and evenings in prayer for the safety of her beloved. Perhaps in response to her earnest pleas, one night a bird enveloped in light appeared to her in a dream and began to speak. "The man you love will return safely, surely return safely," said the bird in a beautiful voice. These words brought great comfort to the woman, and she began weeping tears of joy. "However," continued the bird, "his heart will surely not." Soon, the man returned as the bird had foretold, his body covered in scars beyond counting. But, as the bird had also foretold, he returned with an unfamiliar woman of extraordinary beauty at his side. Despite this, the pious woman could not contain her love for the man, and ran out to meet him as he approached. Surprised, the man embraced her, then collapsed to the ground. The pious woman stood over him, a bloody dagger in one hand and the ripe crimson fruit of his heart in the other. "His heart will stray no longer," she whispered. Amidst the gathering pool of blood, her face awash with pure ecstasy, she placed a tender kiss on her beloved's heart and offered a prayer of gratitude. So this girl had a huge set of horns on her. Beautiful horns like a bull, just growing out of her head above her ears. I myself had a gander at where the horns meet the head, and let me tell you, they were coming straight out of her skull. She was the only kid like that in the whole village. The others were all normal. The kid with the horns, though, born real small, apparently. The horns were, not the kid. And hell, they would need to be. Fat chance the kid's mama would have been able to push out a pair of horns as huge as that. You'd think a girl like that would have been bullied, right? Well, you'd be wrong. That kid was the hardest person for miles in any direction. Wasn't a man in the village who'd tangle with her. And we're talking men who ain't scared of nothing. She was the best at doing work, but needed physical strength and all that, and she always led the charge whenever shades attacked. And folks loved her for that, sure, but most of all, they loved her because she was always cheerful and just plain tough. But one day, this huge shade attacked the village that was just too strong. It tore the men apart like old rags, and half the guys in the village died. The girl with the horns fought all she could, but eventually she couldn't keep up, and the shade lifted her off the ground and ripped the horns right out of her head. The way she screamed was like nothing you ever heard. Sound shook the earth itself, it did. After that, things got real quiet, so I stepped outside and found both the Shade and the girl dead. Each one of them had wounds all over, and they were leaking blood out of just about everywhere. And don't judge me for saying this now, but it was almost like looking at dark red flowers in full bloom, you know? Hope that answers your first question about why folks in this village can't hear nothing. But you should know, none of us think badly for that girl for making us this way. Being deaf is a hell of a sight better than being dead. Anyway, we've all talked over that day to death, and we think the final scream was her way of saying goodbye. Everyone in the village is honored that the last thing we ever heard was her farewell, and that's the God's honest truth. I was saved from the despair that shackled me. I was freed from the fate that cursed me. I was pacified from the indignation that plagued me. I was changed by the day I met you. My flames will scorch the earth below. My fangs will know the taste of blood. My claws will render my enemies asunder. My wings will soar the skies above. If your eyes are to be robbed of their light, if your skin is to be stained with blood, if your sword is too heavy a burden, if your lips can no longer produce speech, even if this body is snuffed out, even if those words are stolen, until our contract is complete, till the moment this warmth is lost. May 21st. We finally run out of money. Food costs just a bit more than nowadays because of the war. We tried begging at the church, but they have their hands full caring for the wounded and can't spare anything. Yona's really lost a lot of weight. I wish I could get her something to eat. July 15th. We met a nice lady who gave us some food. At first I thought she was homeless like us, but she said she was joining some kind of relief and support thing run by the government, so we decided to go with her. At least Yona seems to be doing okay today. August 1st. That nice lady from before used a book and turned into a monster. We ran away as fast as we could because I don't think she's human anymore. Everything those adults told us was a lie. They won't give us money and they won't treat Yona's illness. Also, there's a huge wall around the city now and we can't get out. We should never have come here. August 5th. It's so cold today. I can't believe it's summer. I can actually see my breath. We decided to hide from the monsters in an abandoned supermarket. We found a few old cans of food there, but now those are gone. Also, Yona's cough just won't quit. A really bad feeling about this. Let's keep going! The shield left hanging on the wall was covered in dust. The blade left in its scabbard had rusted over. The techniques I hadn't used were forgotten. The body I was to train was left to grow soft. I had lost the will to practice discipline. I thought things would end without a single word said. I pretended not to see violence inflicted by others. I had given up, assuming things would never change. I believed there was no way to oppose a great power. I sneered at the hearts that tried to believe anyway. I laughed, thinking them brainless fools. Those were the thoughts I had taken refuge in. I had given up, believing nothing was possible in the end. I lamented the foolish and ugliness of it all. My life had lost all meaning. I had lost sight of those who were precious to me. I could not believe in their kindness. I was unable to save them from the grief that tore at their hearts. I had forgotten the courage it takes to protect the smallest of joys. I believed my words would never reach you. There once was a ritual gathering of spirits held on the night of the 10th full moon of the year. During the ceremony, they would gather on the shores of a lake and boast another of all the evil deeds they performed during the year. The first spirit took great joy in telling of the unfathomably cruel ways she had killed some of the finest soldiers in the land. Over the year, she had transformed her shape into a lady of the night and called out to various men, then tore off every last piece of their body when they came to her bed. The soldiers, ashamed their skills could not save them, shed bitter tears as they died, and the spirit claimed they were most delicious things she'd ever tasted. The next spirit regaled the others with a story of cunning and guile. One night, she threw a small boy into a bog. When his older sister came to rescue him, she too sank into the murk. These two were followed by their parents, then other siblings, then extended relatives, until finally every member of the village was sleeping at the bottom of the bog. When the spirit finished her story, she was so beside herself with glee that she did not even notice the saliva that had dripped down her chin. Nervously, the smallest spirit in the group stepped forward to address the crowd. "I am the most amazing of us all," cried the oft-ridiculed spirit at the top of her lungs. "For it is I who thrust all living creatures into terror's deepest depths." The other spirits, unable to contain their mirth, collapsed to the ground and rolled about, and their laughter did not cease until the horrifying monster the small spirit had summoned from the demon world devoured each and every last one of them. We've been together since we were born. We're together when we eat, when we sleep, and when we dream. We share everything. We share the milk we get from Mommy and the nice thing Daddy says to us. But we're not together when we die. Daddy took me and cut off my head, and Mommy took my sister and cut off her head. But it's okay. Our blood got all mushed up into a big axe, so now we can be together forever. The girl stares at the sight before her. Her father lies nearby, carved to pieces by countless blades. Her mother also lies dying, as well as her newborn baby brother. All had suffered terribly in their final moments, and the girl can do nothing but cry as she stares at the 3 soldiers who have murdered her only family. Years later, the girl reappears, her visage made strong by her vow for revenge. The first soldier had grown so fat that the buttons on his uniform can barely contain his girth. The girl approaches him and claims to know an easy way to lose weight. On the pretext of an examination, she has him lie down on a bed before suddenly hacking off his arms and legs with an axe. The remaining lump of soldier screams and attempts to wriggle away, but the girl pins him down and tells him he still has parts he can lose. Sometime later, the girl slits in fun of the now rounded torso and smiles. "There we are," she whispers. "Look how nice and slim you are." The second soldier is a peerless Lothario. Each night, a new woman is invited to his banner to spend the night. The girl breaks into his home and kills the woman at his side, then uses her axe to hack off his manhood as he trembles and begs for mercy. The third soldier has long since left the service, and is now living a quiet life with his family in a remote village. After they have fallen asleep, the girl takes her axe and cleaves the support beams of the house, causing it to collapse. She then sets fire to the wreckage, creating a great bonfire that can be seen for miles in all directions. Suddenly, the soldier's son crawls from the wreckage, covered in head from toe in terrible burns. As his eyes fall on the girl who has murdered his family, she hands him her axe and flees into the dark of night, never to be seen again. Long ago, in a faraway kingdom, there were 3 brothers. The eldest was a king who ruled over the nation entire. He was a most terrifying king, feared by all. Each day, the king would select one of his subjects to execute as a sacrifice. This day, he chopped off a mother's head and forced her family to watch. The head spun 3 times as it flew through the air before landing next to the head of her son, who the king had previously killed. Oh, the horror of it all. But the king merely watched the sight unfold before him and laughed in a most unsettling voice. One day, the king contracted an illness most dire, one which caused his body to rot while he was still alive. But though diseased, the king would still drag his decaying flesh to the executions all the same. His retainers dared not defy their king, so they continued to kill after day after day after day after day. In the end, the king rotted and died. He was a disgusting, foul, rotten death, but his retainers continued killing out executions before the king's rotted corpse every day. Every day, killing. Every day, the rotted king and the rotted retainers and the rotted citizens. And the rotted you. I raise the cry of my birth. The sound of heating iron taking shape, a steel mallet striking my form. Born to deliver karmic justice, I enter the world under the careful watch of spark and flame that give light to the gloom. I am a blade born of a deafening roar. I am a weapon. I am iron will. I grant death. I transform the dread and screams of my foes to elation. I festoon my iron skin with their viscera. When I rob them of life, I am filled with dark joy. When I crush them beneath me, I find meaning in my birth, and I continue to kill, that I might share this delight with all. I kill, and kill, and kill, and kill. I am a weapon. I am iron will. I am shattered. At the battle and blood's end, my body is torn asunder by malice and hate. Today, I again engage the Red Dragon in battle, and magical forces meet leaping iron fangs to create a bloodstorm. My steel cursed, I sink into the slumbering black. I am a weapon. I am iron will. I dream. It is the dream of a small butterfly. In it, the butterfly is caught in a light rain, struggling against it with all its might. In the darkest of nights, I behold a dream that will never come true. I am a weapon. I am iron will. This is a story of a long ages ago. There was once a beautiful bird with resplendent feathers that lived a quiet life deep in the forest. One day, a lost child wandered into the woods. He came from a place of famine, and he'd been abandoned to the forest as a way to reduce the number of mouths to feed. Taking pity on the feeble, starving child, the beautiful bird plucked one of its own feathers and gave it to him. When he was returned home, his family was overjoyed by the feather and permitted him to live with them once more. Hearing the child's story, one person after another descended on the forest to tell the beautiful bird how poor and unfortunate they were. Each time, the bird would pluck a feather and give it away, pluck a feather and give it away, until it had no more to give and its once beautiful visage had become shabby beyond recognition. But the shabby bird had no regrets. One day, the original child appeared before the shabby bird, which was featherless and freezing in the cold. He'd come seeking a bird with resplendent feathers that he might repay the creature's earlier kindness. Overjoyed, the shabby bird said to the child, "It is I you seek. If I might beg a favor, would you hold me to your chest and warm my freezing body?" Sparing a single glance at the shabby bird, the child called it a liar and cut it down with a large blade. He then roasted the bird, ate every last part, and set out anew to find the beautiful bird who had once saved his life. It was a beast that lived in a cavern's deepest, most untouched depths. It had massive horns, a body like steel, breath of scorching fire. The peace-loving villagers hated this monstrous beast with the head of a bull and the body of a human. They feared it, and soon the beast became known as the Minotaur of the Labyrinth. Contrary to its terrifying appearance, the Minotaur was exceptionally kind. Not only did it refrain from harming other creatures, it took great care not to trample flowers beneath its oaf's feet as it walked. Indeed, the reason it lived so deep inside a cavern was to help avoid frightening the villagers. One day, a lost girl wandered into the beast's cavern. Frightened by the sight of it, she cried so hard she eventually passed out, which left the beast in quite the quandary. I have no choice, the beast finally decided. I must take the poor thing back to the village, for her mother and father will be terribly worried. 2 days after the girl vanished, her panicked parents found her sleeping soundly in front of their home. On the ground a short distance away was the dead body of the Minotaur. It had been impaled by several swords, and the blood scattered around it held an almost otherworldly quality. Yet there was no indication the beast had attacked the girl. In fact, it looked as if though it had been trying to find a place as much distance between itself and her as possible, so as not to dirty her with its blood, almost as if it didn't want her to be afraid. And then, having curled up to make itself as small as possible, the monster died. Memoir, June 6, 2003, approximately 1500 hours. A massive, white humanoid, initially called the Weapon, but since renamed the Giant, falls from the sky above Tokyo's Shinjuku ward, inflicting tremendous damage. At the same time, a large red creature, henceforth referred to as the Dragon, appears and engages the Giant in combat, though both the nature of its attacks and their utility remains unclear. As the self-defense force contemplates methods by which they might attack the target, The government establishes a Bureau of Emergency Countermeasures. Memoir, June 12, 2003, approximately 1600 hours. The giant, which has been locked in combat with the dragon, suddenly begins to collapse for reasons unknown. The dragon is then shot down by the 6th Division, 303 Squadron of the Air Self-Defense Force. No official record exists of who issued the order to attack the dragon. Work is then begun to retrieve the remains of both the giant and the dragon, but no official verification has ever been made regarding which organization performed the retrieval. Memoir, December 2003. The first case of white chlorination syndrome is confirmed in Tokyo's Shinjuku ward. Memoir, July 2004. Humans continue to turn violent due to white chlorination syndrome, with fighting growing increasingly intense in infected regions. With the cause of the disease still unclear, the infected are isolated and violent riots suppressed by force. Main thoroughfares are sealed and rail transportation is halted, later leading to all Shinjuku being sealed off. At this time, the prospect of asking the American military for an non-official intervention is considered, but defers. Meanwhile, research begins on masoparticles obtained from the giant and the dragon, as well as on countermeasures for white chlorination syndrome. This research ultimately leads to the founding of Project Gestalt a decade later. Oh, ow. Oh. They were a frighteningly diligent people. They would clear forests and hunt animals even when they had no need. They developed techniques to preserve food they were unable to eat, and earned more money than could ever be spent. Yet there was not a single one among them who did not accept these practices, for none knew of any other customs. They were a frighteningly studious people. Their grasp of calculation and science exceeded any pretense of practicality, and they would repeatedly engage in spirited debates regarding predictions of the future. They invented an increasingly difficult language and created an infinite series of complex machines from which they would ultimately discard. But there was not a single one among them who looked back, for none knew of any reason to concern. They were a frighteningly obedient people. Without ever being told, they would greet the morning sun at the same time, in the same clothes, while toiling away in the same cramped rooms. Yet there was not a single one among them who had complained, for none knew what else they should be doing. Having worked far too much, the people lost their forests and took to living atop the sand. Having grown far too intelligent, the people conversed in a language that no other peoples could comprehend. Having grown far too well behaved, the people were unable to defy the laws which had established one after the other, and came to live their lives enclosed by tens of thousands of rules. In a far-off land, there was a man who acted as a double for the nation's prince, performing duties in his stead as was required. One day, having finished his work, he returned to the prince's chamber to find the princess lying naked in his bed. As the double stood in place, dumbfounded, the man who shared his face sneered and invited them to join them. The double loved the prince's sister, and he felt the princess, who admired him as her brother, loved him as well. Indeed, she was the only thing that kept him going in an otherwise miserable job, for the prince was a most despicable man indeed. Eventually, it came to pass that a war was to be waged under the prince's command. The night before it was to begin, the prince took his double aside and promised him a night with his sister if he could bring him the head of the enemy general. And as the prince chuckled with delight, the double took up his spear and thrust it through the prince's gaping mouth. The war over, the prince made a queen of his sister, and would inflict wounds upon his own face and throat, an act which would occur every single time she called out to him, using her brother's name. Before long, the prince was found dead, his face burned and a spear thrust through the open mouth. The man's face, hideously burned, was the very picture of serenity. This story takes place in a small country at around the same latitude as the northernmost member of a nation of city-states that are part of a region with a village that is attempting to establish a trade agreement with another village over a tiny island in the ocean, south of a country that used to have an alliance with a republic next to a kingdom where a queen resided. It was asked by the owner of a shop frequented by a wet nurse who looked after the child born of an adulterous relationship by the wife of the master of a foolish servant who fell in love with a beautiful queen who appeared in the poems of a minstrel who was loved by the king's country's king's wife's little brother's cousin's big brother's son-in-law foster child. Where does one store the throne that was supposed to be adorned with decorations crafted from the materials of the handle of the lid of a pot that is the same weight as tableware, the same color of a weather vane on a neighboring house that can be seen from a peephole of a door, and the reflections of a mirror with an ornamental frame decorated with silver carvings engraved with a fragment that was made from creating the whetstone used to polish a kitchen knife? This fucking story. The person who had heard the question was the wife's husband's little sister's big brother's daughter's groom's little brother's nephew's father's mother's husband's bride's niece's father-in-law's wife's husband's little sister's big brother's daughter's groom's little brother's nephew's father's mother's husband's wife's... Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm not even finishing that. Fuck you. In the distant past of a land known as the Golden Isle, there existed a sword crafted from every kind of metal and precious gem in the land. So sharp was its edge that even the slightest cut would leave an unsealable wound that eventually drained the victim of both their blood and life. Yeah, you can't really have life without blood. In a strange turn of fate, the sword eventually ended up in the hands of a destitute woman who sold her body to get by. The sword was as long as she was tall, and she could not wield it effectively, so she instead slid it between her sheets as a surprise for the men who used her. The sword was so sharp, they felt no pain when cut, and soon died without even knowing what was happening. The woman would then help herself to their coin, causing her own purse to swell. Making use of her gains, the woman dressed most beautifully, and soon had acquired every kind of metal and precious gem in the land. But it was not enough for her, so she decided to melt down the sword and obtain the gems contained within, a desire made manifest by the sword's beauty. Thus decided, the woman heaved the sword to her shoulders and made for the blacksmith. But on the way to the smith, the sheer weight of the sword caused the woman to lose her balance, and she fell from a bridge into the river below. So unshakable was the woman's greed that she could not bring herself to relinquish her grip upon it. The woman's pale and bloodless corpse was found washed up upon the riverside the following day. Long ago, in a faraway kingdom, there lived 3 brothers. The youngest was a terrifically lazy lad who spent most of his days fast asleep. However, he was every bit as cheerful as he was lethargic, and so was beloved by all. When the nation was beset upon a most contagious disease, the youngest son did not, but lazed around the palace, humming to himself all the while. But his cheerful music comforted the townspeople, so instead of hating him, they sang his praises. "Oh, what a fine young man," they would say. "Just the finest young man you will ever find." When the nation became embroiled in war, the youngest son did not but laze around the palace, telling stories of the good old days all the while. But his fascinating stories helped the townspeople forget the horrors of war, so instead of hating him, they sang his praises. "Oh, what an amazing young man," they would say. "Just the most amazing young man you will ever find." One day, the youngest son was lazing around the palace as usual when he realized he could no longer hear the voices of the townspeople, and he wondered why that might be. He lazed and he wondered. He lazed and he wondered. He lazed and he wondered. Eventually, all that wondering tired him out, and he went to sleep. That is why, in the nation where all have perished from war and disease, the only sound that can be heard is the soft snoring of a young man. It is a nation of happiness. 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 The captain tramples life under his feet. The screams of others transform into songs of joy. Flowing tears change from despair into darkness. Conflict beckons revenge and gives way to new solitude. He had grown old. The king's dauntless gaze had lost its light, and his stalwart body had grown soft. What's more, every ounce of fear and vanity he had gained with age now gnawed away at his heart. The king was afraid, so he repeatedly ordered the invasion of neighboring countries so as to hold onto the lands he'd been sworn to protect. The king was afraid, so he tried to take everything through violence and oppression, for he no longer trusted his own advisors and vassals. There was a dragon that had sworn fealty to the king. This wingless creature would do anything the king commanded, for he'd been saved by the king once, and swore to repay this debt with his very soul. Even if the king's orders were folly and madness, the dragon would follow them to the last, for his king was justice itself. One day, the dragon requested an audience with the king. He was covered in blood from his latest victim, the king's own son, whom the regent had ordered the dragon to assassinate. The bloody dragon hung its head low and said, "I cannot defy your orders, O king, but neither can I obey them any longer. I beg of you, kill me and grant me release." This is the tale of a foolish king and a wingless dragon in a nation that fell centuries ago. Even now, the wind blows ceaselessly across the grasslands. It blows just as it did on the day the king and dragon made their pact. There once was a warrior in a frontier nation who feared not death. He was so brawny and powerful, arrows were said to bounce harmlessly off his flesh. For this reason, the warrior always threw himself into the thick of any battle. One day, a beautiful bird appeared before the warrior in a dream. The bird commended the warrior for his valor in battle and offered to grant him one of two wishes. The bird could bring an end to the war and grant peace to all the world, or the bird could bequeath the warrior an immortal body. The warrior chose immortality. From that day forth, the warrior's exploits were nothing short of astonishing. He mowed down foes in uncountable numbers. No amount of arrows or swords or axes could slow his march. The king showered him with titles and gifts, and for a time, it seemed the warrior's days of stunning glory would continue until the end of time. But conflict did not cease. Eventually, the warrior's frontier nation was invaded so often that the flames of war left the entire country in ruins. Crops withered, people perished, and before long, there were none left who even knew the warrior's name. The shattered warrior was tortured day and night by endless starvation, but his body refused to let him die. So he sought out the bird again and pleaded for him to grant release. "Ah, but you cannot die," chirped the bird in response. "You will never die." She was a hopelessly slow woman. Impossibly clumsy, it would take her 3 days longer than anyone else to accomplish a task. She walked slowly, talked slowly, and she even blinked slowly. So slow was the woman that she could not even draw water to anyone's satisfaction. The children began calling her the cow and laughing when she passed by, but she would only chuckle in response. She was a hopelessly dull woman. When she fell and drew blood, she would carry on as though in daze. Though coins were dropped from her purse, she never managed to retrieve one. And if someone spoke ill of her to her face, it would take her hours to realize the insult. When the children saw her, they would hurl rocks with glee. She was a hopelessly foolish woman. One summer, when the village was suffering a most terrible drought, the woman vanished. The children all starved to death. The villagers spent no time worrying about the woman who ran away. 2 days later, rain fell and the village was saved. But the woman did not return. And on the 20th day, a shaman arrived at the village. The shaman held a spear with a pair of horns that was so oiled and sticky to the touch. So heavy was the spear that none could wield it effectively. Although, even if they managed to lift it, the woman was incapable of piercing through anything at all. The shaman forced it upon the people and left it with them, but none dared approach it. And to this day, it quietly slumbers in a forgotten corner of the village. This is the story of a sorrowful prince, a tale of a kingdom in a time long past. Attacked by the forces of darkness, the nation was annihilated in a single night by inhuman soldiers with red eyes and a group of black dragons so numerous they blotted out the sky. Having infiltrated the king's castle, the black dragons visited upon the king and queen a most horrible fate. It is said their stomachs were torn open by the black dragon's mighty claws, and the very floor they stood upon became a sea of blood. The prince and princess, though racked with sorrow, escaped to live another day. The prince, spurred by the shock of witnessing his parents' tragic end, became consumed by a desire to enact vengeance. This is the story of a terrifying prince, a history of a conflict in the long ago. Obsessed with laying low his hated enemies, the prince indulges in his vengeance day after day after day. Even when faced with foes who take heel, he chases them down and tears them apart from groin to gullet. The carnage is so horrific, his fellow soldiers whisper tales of how they saw him mutilating bodies that are already long dead. Perhaps because no commander can control him, the prince is sent to an even harsher battle. This is a story of a foolish prince, the whereabouts of fate in the long ago. The prince's next battleground is a castle that guards a goddess. He lays waste to all before him, hacking arms, cleaving legs, rending stomachs, gouging eyes, separating heads from shoulders. But soon the injured prince can no longer tell the difference between the blood that rains down and the blood which comes from his own wounds, and he collapses into a heap. As he writhes in pain, coughing up gouts of hot blood, he lifts his gaze and sees a hated dragon standing before him. This is a story of a mad prince, a meeting with a dragon in the long ago. An injured red dragon stands before the prince, and although it is a different color than the beast that killed his parents, he feels the need to avenge himself upon it regardless. But as he raises his sword, the dragon says, "In exchange for both our souls, human, I will save your life and grant you your power." After some thought, the prince makes the pact. It matters not to him what he might lose in the deal, or it involves a dragon. All he cares about is that he can continue swinging his blade. So he swings and swings and swings, and with each blow, his heart fills with a desire as black as the deepest night. That's every single weapon story. I'm gonna go save, call it here, and I will see you tomorrow for the end of Nier Replicant. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much.